Hello everyone. The next topic that we are going to see is the antenna parameters. So any device that we consider, we need to characterize a device in terms of certain parameters. So antenna has also certain set of parameters which are used to describe the antenna, and we will be using these parameters throughout our syllabus. So let us see what is the outline of this presentation. So we're going to see the following parameters: the beam solid angle, radiation intensity, beam efficiency, directivity, antenna gain and antenna efficiency. So let us see about all these parameters one by one. The first parameter is the beam solid angle. So beam solid angle we are going to describe in terms of two things. One is the radian and the other one is the steradian. So radian is nothing but the ratio of the subtended arc length on the circle to the corresponding radius. So this arc is nothing but the outer region, which is the circumference of the circle. So what is the circumference of the circle? It is 2 pi r divided by the radius. So 2 pi r divided by r becomes 2 pi. That is why we say that the circle has 2 pi radians. This is applicable to two-dimensional structures. But when we consider three-dimensional structures, we talk about solid angles. So it is the ratio of subtended area to the corresponding square of the radius. So if you see the area surrounding an antenna, we categorize it or we imagine it to be in a spherical shape. So the area of a sphere is 4 pi r square divided by the square of the radius is r square. So 4 pi r square divided by r square gives us 4 pi steradians. So when we talk of two-dimensional shapes, we say about radians. Whereas when I talk of sphere or any other three-dimensional spaces, we call the term to be steradians and not radians. So we say that a circle has 2 pi radians and a sphere has 4 pi steradians. So this is the arc subtended, which is the circumference 2 pi r divided by the radius r. So r gets cancelled. 2 pi r by r gives us 2 pi radians. And when we talk about solid angles, it is the area divided by square of the radius. So area of a sphere is 4 pi r square divided by r square gives us 4 pi. So we say that a sphere has 4 pi steradians. The first important parameter that characterizes an antenna is the radiation intensity. So the term itself is self-explanatory. Radiation, we already know that the antenna either radiates a power or it accepts the incoming radiations. So radiation intensity means how much power the antenna radiates per unit solid angle. So we imagine the area surrounding an antenna to be a sphere. Per unit solid angle or per unit steradian that we consider, how much power is being radiated. That is what we call to be a radiation intensity. And we define the normalized power pattern in terms of the radiation intensity as the radiation intensity of the particular antenna divided by the maximum radiation intensity that can be possible. Or in terms of Poynting vector, we defined as the energy per unit time per unit area, which is S, divided by the maximum energy per the same unit area, unit time. So we can define the radiation intensity in terms of power as well as the Poynting vector. So we have written the formula using the Poynting vector because Poynting vector defines energy per unit time per unit area. So the ratio of these two also gives us the normalized power pattern of an antenna. So how much power can be radiated from an antenna? That is what we call to be the radiation intensity. The next parameter is the beam efficiency. What do you mean by beam? So we saw that the radiation contains certain patterns. We have the main lobes, we have the major lobe, the side lobe, the minor lobe and such patterns. Now beam efficiency means we are going to find the ratio of the main beam area. For example, if you take this figure that is present here, this will radiate energy maximum in one particular direction. You can see here, this direction contains a maximum power and all other direction contains power but that are minimal in nature. So the ratio of this main beam area to the total beam area, that is what we call to be the beam efficiency. So this will tell us how much efficient the antenna or the device is capable of transmitting a beam in one particular direction or one particular main area. So the ratio of main beam area to the total beam area is called as the main beam efficiency. So we consider an antenna. For example, let this be the antenna. So this will contain the maximum beam in one direction and in other directions we will have small beams. So the ratio of this maximum beam area to the total beam area wherever the radiation is present, we call the ratio of the two terms to be the beam efficiency. So this is the main beam area and this is your total beam area. And one more term we have which is called as a stray factor. So this is the ratio of the minor lobe area to the total beam area. So minor lobe represents the wastage of power. So we find stray factor to know how much power is wasted. So it is the ratio of minor lobe area to the total area that is present. And this term is what we call to be the stray factor. And when we add the original radiation, the beam efficiency plus the wasted power, the stray factor, we get a total of 1, which means it is 100% efficiency. But this is not possible because definitely there will be some losses. So, but this implication, this equation implies that when the maximum, the main beam area and the stray factor is added, we can attain maximum beam efficiency. The next term is directivity, and this is a very important term as far as antennas are concerned. So directivity implies how directional an antenna is, which means whether my radiation is directed in one particular direction, whether I am able to transmit my radiation in one particular direction or whether I am able to receive my radiation from one particular direction. For example, if you take your satellite signals, so the one that is present at the behind, this will be highly directional. The image that is present at the behind is a satellite antenna. So this will be highly directional in nature because we know from where the signal is coming. So such kind of antennas will have a very high directivity. In contrast, if you take mobile phone antennas, we do not know from which direction the signal comes. We might be in one place today, we might move to some other place. So to whatever place we go, we observe or we acquire the signals. So which means it has a very low directivity. So if the direction of the radiation is known, if we know to which direction we are transmitting the radiation, or if we are able to receive the signal from one particular direction, then we say the antenna to be highly directional in nature. Whereas if there is no specific direction from which the signal is going to be obtained or going to be transmitted, we say that the device has a very low directivity. So the definition for directivity is, directivity of an antenna is defined as the ratio of the radiation intensity in a given direction from the antenna to the radiation intensity averaged over all directions. So averaged over all directions is nothing but the isotropic antenna. So we always compare our antenna, the radiation intensity of our antenna, which is observing signals from one direction, with respect to an reference antenna, which we assume that the radiation is averaged over all the directions. So the ratio of the two radiation intensities gives us the directivity D. And this averaged over all directions is nothing but it is the power, maximum power radiated divided by 4 pi, because we consider the antenna to be present in a sphere or a spherical coordinate system. So the average, the isotropic reference source U naught, it is actually represented as power radiated divided by the area of 4 pi. So when you reciprocate this term, when you substitute U naught here as P radiation by 4 pi, 4 pi term goes to the numerator and this becomes 4 pi into U divided by power radiated. So this is the formula to calculate directivity. Fine. So directivity is defined as the radiation intensity in a given direction, which is U, to the radiation intensity in all directions. And this all directions we write the formula as the power radiated over the area of the sphere. So it is power radiated by 4 pi, and when you substitute the term here and reciprocate, it becomes 4 pi U divided by the power radiated. So this is true when we know the direction of the antenna. Direction of the signal which we receive from the antenna. If the direction is not known, then we assume the directivity to be the direction of maximum radiation intensity. So we can see the radiation pattern and we can predict at which direction the maximum intensity is, and we can assume that in your directivity formula. So we will assume the direction where there is maximum radiation intensity, and we will take a ratio of it to your reference antenna, which is radiation intensity averaged over all directions. So this is U maximum divided by U naught, and U naught once again is power radiated divided by 4 pi. When you reciprocate, this becomes 4 pi into U max divided by the power radiated. So if we know the direction, then directivity is the ratio of radiation intensity in a given direction to the radiation intensity averaged over all directions. If we do not know from which direction we receive maximum radiation intensity, then we can measure the radiation intensity where the radiation is maximum and take an ratio of that to the radiation intensity over all the directions. So here D represents directivity, D naught is the maximum directivity, U is the radiation intensity, which is watts per unit solid angle, U max is the maximum radiation intensity, U naught is the radiation intensity of isotropic source. So as we saw in the previous video, that isotropic source is always a reference. It does not practically exist, but still that is the reference with which we describe other types of parameters or other types of antennas. So whenever we describe any parameter of an antenna, we describe it with respect to an isotropic source. And P rad is nothing but the total radiated power in watts. Fine. So this is what we mean by directivity, and this parameter tells us how much directional our given antenna is. The next important parameter is the antenna gain. So the antenna gain tells us how much effectively my antenna can absorb the power, or how much effectively my antenna can concentrate or transmit the given power. I repeat once again, gain tells us how much effectively I can absorb the power from a given direction, or how much effectively I can transmit the power into a given direction. So when I talk of direction, what comes there? It is definitely the term directivity. So gain actually depends on the directivity of the antenna as well as an efficiency factor K. So the efficiency of the antenna, this is called as the efficiency factor. So the antenna efficiency factor will be the ratio of gain to directivity. So when the gain also is maximum, directivity is also maximum, then we can achieve a maximum efficiency factor. And K varies between 0 to 1, where 1 implies the highest efficiency of 100%. So antenna gain, it is a measure that takes into account the efficiency of the antenna as well as its directional capabilities. And we define it as a ratio of the radiation intensity in a given direction to the radiation intensity that would be obtained if the power accepted by the antenna was radiated isotropically. So this is similar to the previous definition. So this depends on the directivity factor also as well as the efficiency factor also. How efficiently or effectively I am able to absorb a power or I am able to transmit a power, that is what we call by the antenna gain. And we all know that gain is nothing but the ratio of output to input. But that formula or that terminology output to input is true for active devices. But antenna is not an active device, it is a passive device. So we need to modify that particular term, we need to just reframe that and we define it to be the radiation intensity of the given antenna to the total power that would have been radiated or accepted in case of an isotropic source. This is nothing but your reference source, and this is nothing but the antenna under test. So it is nothing but the ratio of the radiation intensity of the antenna under test to your isotropic reference source. This is what we mean by the gain parameter. And the last parameter that we are going to define is the antenna efficiency. So this is the total efficiency of the antenna, and it depends on various factors. We cannot always say that we can design a 100% efficient antenna. There are a lot of factors that contribute to losses in an antenna. Few of the losses that we saw in the initial videos is the reflection loss, the conduction loss, and the dielectric loss. So if in case the transmission line and the antenna is not properly matched, we will have this reflection problem. Conduction and dielectric might be due to, we might have a transmission line that is a purely conductor, a purely dielectric, or it might be a combination of conductor and dielectric, and that is not going to be an ideal conductor. Once again, there might be some factors or some losses due to the conductors also. So taking into account the efficiency of the conductor and the dielectric medium, we define the total antenna efficiency to be dependent on the reflection efficiency, the conduction efficiency, as well as the dielectric efficiency. And efficiency is nothing but how much power we receive power from the transmission line, to what extent I am able to convert the power into radiation. That is what we call to be the term antenna efficiency. And there is not 100% efficiency, there are certain losses, and these are the factors that contributes to losses in the antenna. So these are the few important parameters of antenna that we saw. So we saw about the beam solid angle, directivity, beam efficiency, radiation intensity, and gain, and finally we saw the antenna efficiency. Thank you.